Morning. If things go the way I want to go, you'll be seeing this at the time of the original attacks 20 years ago this morning. Hopefully the uploads sync up. I don't know. Maybe it's a damn thing, I never know. My original intent was to go live at this moment, and unfortunately, necessary errands need to be run today that I hadn't counted on having to be run today are currently have me getting ready to go out of the house for the duration of the morning. So here I sit. I usually don't say very much verbally, visually, whatever you want to call it, on this day. I usually just put a picture of this hat laying at the memorial site because two of our members of our King's family were on one of the planes that was involved in what happened 20 years ago. So in the absence of doing that, I'm going to do this instead because I made it clear a couple weeks ago when I did my little remembrance of my own anniversary 2 weeks ago today that this day and my situation as far as my mental health are forever intertwined because it's funny, the thing they aired on SmackDown, it's not funny, I just took that back. The first words on the broadcast last night for SmackDown, we all remember where we were on that fateful Tuesday morning. I will never, ever forget my dad trying to wake me up from my very much still concussion-induced oversleeping. My grandmother doing the exact same thing when she got there 3 hours later, and then coming out of my little cave, my slumber, to watch Young and Restless with her, and rounding the corner from our hallway to our living room and seeing the replay of, I believe it was the second plane strike into the World Trade Center that morning, September 11th, 2001. And other than sleeping or bathing, didn't leave the couch for a couple weeks. Just sat there and just stared some more. It's very rare in this country that we have, at least previously to that, felt helpless in our own skin and not knowing what to do. We've never been attacked to that degree. We've never been attacked to that level on our own turf. We'd fought wars across the sea. We'd gone all over the world and protected those needed protecting and fighting for those that needed to be fought for and waging battles and wars around this planet. And we had never been attacked so forcefully and so blatantly as we were on that morning. Like I said, 20 years ago. 20 years is a long time. People don't realize how long 20 years is. 20 years is 2 decades. It's a long time. When I think about the upcoming anniversary of my relationship with NoDQ.com is 20 years next year. 2 weeks from today, actually, the 25th. So there you go. It's very, very grounding to me, very humbling to me that it's been 20 years since this happened, since my relationship at NoDQ started. It'll be 15 next year for Talk Wrestling. It's very, you really do face your own mortality when anniversaries like this come up. I put a post up just about 6 hours ago now. It'll be roughly 6 hours here in a few minutes here about it's almost become a cliche that JJ and I call Disneyland our Woosah place, my Woosah place, whatever you want to call it. But man, this visit coming up in a couple of months, it will never have more meaning for it being my place of chill, my place of escape, my place of, oh my God, I'm here. There's no stress. There's no bullshit. There's no drama. It's just me at my place doing my thing on my timetable. And I had to make that happen. I had to say, you know what? I need this day. I need to go down to Disneyland and see Mickey. And hopefully, if I can get the ride queues arranged, ride the Rise of Resistance attraction from over in Galaxy's Edge and just take a day, because I promised myself and I promised you that I would take that break after WrestleMania, and I didn't do it, and I ended up costing me much more mental health than I gave it credit for. And to this day, I'm still reeling from that. To this day, I'm still feeling very overtaxed, very overworked. And it's days like today where you realize you don't need to go there. You don't need to get wound so tight that everything feels like it's crumbling on you. There's enough drama outside your front door where you don't need to bring it with it. And I'm very guilty of that. I have been much more so in my adult life. You figure that's 20 years ago this year. I turned 18 and all my shit started going down with the accident and then everything that has followed then. I made an interesting post a little over a year and a half ago now after I had my second major concussion and TBI incident that the majority of you watching this right now on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on wherever you're watching this, that most of you don't know, have never met the Jeff Meacham that was Jeff Meacham prior to August 27th and 28th, 2001. And I do regret that because he was maybe a lazy person, maybe a not hardworking, not resilient person, but he was a decent person. I do know I've tried my best to be decent to all of you and to the people I've encountered in the last 20 years, and I know that I've failed quite a bit in that respect with a good majority of you, and I do apologize consistently and often. I probably want to say it for that. But I will say this, days like today make you realize that the stuff I get mad about, the stuff I do not apologize for, is not worth that kind of complex mental space rental. I said it a year ago when I was really down. I'm still not exactly 100% back up yet, but in the wake of what happened 20 years ago, in the wake of what happened with Daphne a little over a week ago now, I encourage all of you to, if you've not reached out to a loved one who you haven't touched in a while for whatever reason, find a way to make it right. Find a way to make sure that you can go through your day, your week, your month, your year, your decade, your life without having to hold on to an unnecessary grudge. I'll be honest with you. 2 weeks ago, when I had my anniversary of what happened to me, I reached out to the two people that were involved in the accident with me. I did not receive a picked up telephone, nor did I receive a return call in the last 2 weeks, and I don't expect to. But the fact that I found it okay within my heart and my damaged brain to make those phone calls when I hadn't really felt compelled to before shows me that there is a better way, and I seem to have found it. So, again, this is very hard for a lot of us for a lot of different reasons. It's because of what happened today that my family was unable to actually be physically present when my maternal grandfather passed away because he was in Oregon. We weren't. We had to say goodbye to two of our King Scouts because they were on one of the planes. And when the Kings became Stanley Cup champions 11 years later, one of the first things that was done was to lay this hat at the memorial site for Mark Davis and Ace Bailey. To this day, our mascot is named Bailey because of Ace and because of his contributions to the Kings and because of what happened to him and to his family 20 years ago. So I'm going to try to I don't want to go too far past 10 minutes here. I just want to make this brief. Like I said, I want to try to get this posted prior to, or at the time that everything started going down. That way it kind of coincides. Just be there for each other today and for always. Got a lot of cool things coming up, in the next little while here on the network. As does Aaron, as does Greg, as does JJ, as does Mikey. here on my channel might do this. So please come on into our rooms every night of the week, weeknights. Support us, super chat us, tell us what you like, what you don't like. Make your football picks, make your pay-per-view picks. Watch me defend the championship, the Jack of all trades, live in a couple of weeks, 12 days from now. There is fun out there coming up for us on our channels. There are a lot of cool things happening, but it's hard not to sit back and remember where you were at this moment 20 years ago. Remember what you were doing, who you were with, how it impacted your life. I know how it's impacted mine and will forever impact mine for a number of reasons, a lot of which I'm not going to get too deep into the weeds here, but a year following this is when things really started picking up for myself, for Aaron, for the WDQ.com media output. So I am more grateful than I show on this channel, on Aaron's shows, on the Great Cherry Brand, and when I'm with other people. And I do say here and now that I will try to do better about that. I can't promise I will, because promises are easily broken, and this is unintentionally. But I do want you all to know, as I sit here right now on September 11th, 2021, that I thank you all for watching, that I thank you all for supporting, that I thank you all for being here every step of the way, the last 15, the last 20, whatever it's been. If you've been with me before, I became the world famous Jeff Meacham, as SoCal Val once dubbed me. Then I thank you the most, because I love you guys and you stuck with me through the bullshit and the beauty. So thank you all again. We'll see you Monday after Monday Night Raw, and after Aaron is done recapping Monday Night Raw right here on the YouTube channel, probably Facebook and Twitter too. I'll see how I feel about that. But we'll be back for a Monday night, Monday nightcap, if you will. We'll be on Talk Wrestling for about a half hour, 45 or so. That's Monday night. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you then. Get out there and tell somebody today that you love them, you miss them, whatever you need to tell them, because as we found out 20 years ago, tomorrow is never promised. The next 10 minutes are not promised. Great guy.